Hey, okay, let me set the stage here. Anybody divorced? You want to? How about more than once? Twice? 3 times? Listen, there are many people who will call you a failure because you divorced. You might be calling yourself a failure because you've divorced. But what I need you to get is the conditioning around that. Because even in conversation, if you say you're divorced, people will often say, or divorcing, people will say, well, why'd your marriage fail? Or what went wrong? Or it always has to be that something went wrong when very oftentimes, honey, if you are divorced, that thing went perfectly fine. Not very oftentimes. Hell, if you divorced, it was perfect. And you've got to rework your mind around that. You ready? Because I'm about to dive deep. Hi, I'm Zara Green, and this is Living Clarity. My intention with this channel is about dismantling myths, beliefs, and reconditioning minds, helping to get you on the path to happy by getting all the junk out of the way, the junk between your ears, the things you've been conditioned to believe. If that sounds good to you, then click the subscribe button and engage, like, share, comment. Some of y'all, in fact, the ways that I'm responding to this video is a response to the previous one I did on writing the book on love and then ending the relationship. I'm answering questions that came in my DM. Y'all, you know you need to be engaging right here, right? That's how that helps me. This is a reciprocation. All right, let's get started. Okay, let me say right off the bat, I am not anti-marriage. I've done it a few times, I might do it again. I'm not anti-marriage. I am pro-happy. I am pro-living life to the fullest. I am pro-happy and I am anti-misery. And there are too many people who are miserable in marriages. I grew up watching folk miserable in marriage, celebrating the length of a marriage instead of the health of a marriage, not focused on the health of a marriage, but just staying there and for longevity's sake, or because they believe that after they said I do, then they're stuck because they can't. They believe that God will be dissatisfied with them, that God will punish them, that nothing will go well for them, that there are some rules behind whether or not they can or not. Y'all, I do not believe in forever. I don't believe you can be self-loving and believe in forever. I believe in as long as. Now, that sounds frivolous to some of you, I know, but I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you some more behind this so that you can get to the point that you get out of that space of feeling like a failure or staying in marriages that died years ago, but you're still trying to hold on and killing yourself. You are dying a slow death because you won't let go of a marriage that it has no life. This might not be easy for some of you. In fact, it's probably going to be hard for a lot of y'all, but that's okay. People came asking me questions about being a failure. So here we go. I am not a failure. I've done it 3 times. Might do it again. We come here for different things. What I will not be is shamed. We're going to talk about that. Because shame is only effective if the person is susceptible to the tactics that are used. I ain't susceptible. You may be. You might have to look at what's going on with you that allows you to be. You've got to look, and not might. If you're going to do this and not have any shame or get out of the shame, then I'm about to tell you what you need to do. So this is not just about being a failure, or feeling like a failure. It's the premises by which you are operating that make you, allow you, permit you to feel like a failure. And feelings follow thoughts. So there are some thoughts and belief systems and some myths and some straight up lies you've been told that are keeping you in a space and making you susceptible to feeling less than good about yourself. And I personally wouldn't serve any kind of God or be in a religion that did that to me. Although I did. We'll talk about that too. Everybody knows that couple who was really good together, but in the end parted because of irreconcilable differences or other reasons. But that's the primary one. Now, when you are in religion, you really do believe, because you've been conditioned to believe, that as long as you've got God, then everything else can be worked out. Lie. I know y'all, I'm straight shit because I'm on the other half of 50 and I ain't got time to be playing with the shit that has ruined many people's lives and took a big chunk of mine. I ain't that number. I don't give a shit about people and their belief systems that don't affect me, that don't impact me. And I don't mind leading the way for those who are still sitting in some questioning what's happening with that. I don't mind being the one to say the shit you've been thinking and feeling, but scared to say because they've conditioned you to not say it. The only way to come up out of bullshit is to look it square in the eye and choose something different. Here's a reality. All of us, every single one of us, are always only doing the best we can. We're doing the best we know to do. And most of us are really putting forth effort trying to do that. If you look at somebody and say, no, they're really not putting forth any effort, they really don't know anything else to do. People do what they know to do. And most of the time, encounters we have with people, go back to the reason, season, lifetime thing, y'all. Most of the people you encounter will only be for a reason. Far fewer than that will be for a season. And I'm gonna tell you something, y'all. Less than you can probably count on this hand, including family, will be for a lifetime. Most relationships end. Get that? Most relationships end. If you are on a personal development path, you are not as impacted by relationships ending than if you're not. And for many people, personal development ends with the Bible, ends with church, ends with whatever they're learning from people in the pulpit. That is not personal development, people. That is not personal development, because personal development begins with understanding who you are at your core, understanding the God-given, not just gifts. We always talking about the gifts. I'm talking about your unique ways of being, your thought processes, the way that you feel, and your way of being. Y'all, there's so much of who you are that you curtail for the sake of trying to fit into what conditioning tells you you're supposed to be. I mean, from a male to a female, and what you're supposed, the roles that you're supposed to play, all that shit is conditioning. And if you don't understand who you are at the core, then that makes you susceptible to the bullshit that the controllers want to use against you. Medellin is loud. It's loud. I have the microphone on, but it's a loud town. I love the place. I live in Medellin, Colombia. And so you're going to hear that. I'm trying. I'm doing my part, all right? But it's why I have been saying for 30 years, do not neglect personal growth. When you neglect personal growth, then you are only conditioned by the institutions that be. That's churches, schools, government. And you believe all the stuff they want you to believe, and you don't ever focus on conditioning and trusting and depending on and relying on all the things that make you you. You shut that off and repress that. That is what makes you feel like a failure, because you've got everybody else's rule books in your head instead of being, and that prevents you from following your own instincts and intuition. But it ain't ever too late. I mean, start by, I've got a free masterclass for you. Go get it. At least start there and then keep going. So the first thing is, do not neglect personal growth. Next, religion got y'all effed up. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. Religion got y'all effed up. And I can talk about it. I'm a certified minister, David. I can talk. I'm a PK. I can talk about it. Got y'all up. I was too. For a long time. I refer to it as my dumb deep decade. My triple D phase. I was about as dumb as they got, as dumb as a box of rocks. Just dumb. But there's hope. When you get outside of the religious box, there is hope. And y'all, lastly, shame is a control mechanism. Don't allow it. Only way not to allow it, though, is to become more of you. Embrace your own qualities. Develop as a person. Because let me tell you something. I don't live in shame from nothing. It doesn't matter what my life has brought. It doesn't matter what I've gone through. It matters not one iota what I've done. I'm always doing the best I know. When I learn something more, and here's what I know because I'm on a personal growth path. When I need to learn something else, life shows me. When a student is ready, the teacher really does show up in so many different forms. And what I know right now is all I need to know. But because I'm always on a personal development path, I'm also always expanding. My understanding is always rising. So shame, I wish somebody would try it. Child, ain't no shame in me. That shit don't work. It's a wasted emotion. There are many wasted emotions. Shame is one of them. You're allowing pressure on yourself to be laid upon you by what other people's expectations are or what they want for you. It's a controlling mechanism. When people can't shame you, darling, you can rise. You can lose that weight. You can rise up out of anything. And a lot of time the shame says, if you divorce, nobody's going to want you. God's going to be displeased with you. Or what's going to happen if nobody ever loves you again? Well, look what you're doing to your children. Look at all of those other topics. We'll get to them. But here's what you need to know. You are enough right now and all the time. You're enough. You are lovable. You can be the badass you were designed to be. All you have to do is get in touch with your design. Live according to your design, not other people's desires for you. You've been doing that long enough. It's time to get in touch with you. Get rid of all the shit that they've told you you are. Get in touch with the real you. That's how you get rid of the shame. Divorce does not make you a failure. So whether you have been divorced or you want to be divorced, you're in the process of a divorce, you've been divorced 20 years and you're still carrying the weights, whatever it is, the way out is to get to know who you are at your core. Get through all of that, okay? All right, that's where I'm gonna end this one. It's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn, it can get better. From Medellin, Colombia. Bye for now.